So, hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at Dracotail, and specifically, today I feel like thinking of how do we counter Dracotail. So, let's do a little bit of some thinking. So, I haven't really seen Dracotail in action yet, but I have read the cards, so I have a general idea of what the Dracotail cards at least do. I'm not sure if you splash it with anything else, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at these cards. So, you have Dracotail, I guess, spellcasters, and then you have the dragon. So I'm assuming only the spellcasters can be used to do a quick fusion. So spellcaster, no. Okay, looks like that's not the case. So is it just Dracotail Malulu plus 5 mana? Okay, so we don't have theming in the same way that Teal'c does, where it's only the Teal'c girls that perform the fusion summon, and Rhinoheart is just also there. So no, but okay, that's fine. If these cards are sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon, you can set a Dracotail spell trap from your deck, then you can destroy one spell trap on the field. We have that. And then these guys, this is a spellcaster, this is a dragon. This card genuinely doesn't matter. Like, if I were to super volley this, what does this do? It even special summons itself back, right? Yeah, so super poly doesn't work on these cards realistically, right? Is if I were to super poly this, like assuming I'm able to do so, it just comes back either way, right? So pointless. But is there a negate? Let's see. Target a monster, yada yada. No, doesn't matter. Tag position monster doesn't matter. Target a face-up spell on the field. Spell, not trap. Okay, we're taking notes here. So you have Urgula. Probably a one of, I'm assuming. We'll see, I guess. This card is in your graveyard. This card is sent to the graveyard as material for a fusion summon. You have to set, then you can destroy. Oh, so if you're unable to set the card, then you actually can't do the destroy effect. Interesting. Target one attack position monster on the field, return it. That includes your own cards. Target one face-up spell on the field, includes your own cards. Target a monster and or one spell trap in your opponent's graveyard. This is your opponent's only, but I mean, it's really hard to keep cards completely out of your graveyard. That's not going to happen, is it? This has to be in the graveyard. So, I mean, easy first answer, we just drop a fissure, I guess. But you can chain to fissure. So, I guess now might be the time to bring out, like, Banisher of the Radiance or the other guy. These are technically able to really hard counter Dracotail. You're able to normal summon these because these guys will prevent the Dracotail cards from kind of like triggering, right? It will still, your opponent will still be able to like summon Arthalion, right? But they won't get the triggers on these cards. So I mean, it only somewhat gets the job done, honestly. It doesn't feel like it's fully there. This is earth, this is water, this is dark, water, what? Fire. Are they just every attribute? Yeah, there's just literally every attribute. Okay. I mean, even if you have Gozen, they have Urgula, right? So that's not really a solution. None of these are solutions, really. They're more like annoyances, which is maybe fine if this deck isn't that strong. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. We'll see soon enough, I guess. Or I will. But, alright. Macro-like effects will prevent these cards from being able to be reset as well, because they'll be banished, so just banishing these cards might not be that bad. If we DD Crow, we can't like Crow any of these guys, because they'll just trigger, and we'll be chaining to the trigger to set to bash them. That does nothing. But if we do play the Crow, if we do play Crow, we can still banish the traps, and if we do, they'll actually prevent any of those triggers from being activatable, and it'll also Start negatively effective. Wait. Place one Dracotail card from your graveyard or banishment on the bottom of the deck. It doesn't work. Wow. Wait, what? Really? It recycles or banish. Alright, that's not a play you can make. Okay. Good thing I checked. So, yeah, I was always thinking about this to begin with, but evenly matched, there's no way to actually negate evenly with this deck. It's just a matter of if this deck can actually lethal or not, because if not, evenly goes a lot harder, right? But if they do, that becomes a little bit problematic. But if they don't, right, you can kind of force them to banish like everything, right? There is an issue regarding maybe like the back removal, but not really, is there? Well, actually, there's this idea. So if we were playing, it would be specifically Paleo, where we can use evenly really well. I think this might be worth a shot because some of these cards getting destroyed is not that bad, and then we can use some chainable kind of like traps or ideas. So let's say you're doing your like Dracotail, whatever your combo is. Well, it'll depend how this goes fully, I guess. But you do your Dracotail combo, you see my suspicious back row, you try to pop it, you send Urgula. I'm perfectly happy with this, I think, right? Yeah, I think they'll be fine. You Urgula attempt to pop the card. It's actually Waboku or something. I can chain Waboku to it. If you ignore it, I can just chain it in battle phase and then drop evenly from hand. And either way, you're getting even lead. So it's just changes when you get even lead. So you could get even lead technically on from my turn or your turn. I guess Lancia plays around this, but I don't think you'd be running Lancia anymore. There's really nothing to run Lancia for. Because like Malice is going to be gutted here at this point because they don't even have Red Ransom anymore. Like, are we really running just Lancia for Orcus like that? That's a bit ridiculous when generics work okay actually against Orcus. So I don't know. Should be okay. Oh, wait. You don't even really add cards here. Isn't there only one card that directly adds? So you can't troll effectively, can you? How about this? Is this mandatory to draw? Then draw one card. It's mandatory to draw. Oh, you can disable the traps with Droll and Lockbird. That's kind of interesting. But also, how in the world do I trigger that? Well, okay, I guess. Sure. Well, the other thing that is worth taking a look at is the fact that these cards are during the main phase only. So if we were to play during like draw phase, end phase, whatever, just not in the main phase, then we could probably deal with these cards that way. So you can't fusion summon anything. Is this when any? No, this was a monster effect, right? No, wait. This is any Dracotail card or effect. This can actually pop an additional card, technically. But you can chain block it, I guess. This actually pops more back row than I thought then. This will pop a back row like every single turn. And then you could technically recycle Urgula and keep sending it, no? Yeah, this could murder back row. So like back row decks aren't fully safe. Monster decks not fully safe. Rollback angle. Could we roll back and do something really disgusting with rollback? Roll back evenly, right? There's no way to stop rollback evenly here. The non-stop card popping is kind of problematic, and you could do literally like Dracotail. Which card is it? Oh, just get to Dracotail. But oh wait. Oh, that's a card as well. There are 9 URs you need for this. Okay, Dracotail Horn, Sting. It's Horn, right? You can use Horn to return your own monster, kinda, right? And then Chain Pop as well. I guess, right? Nothing really stopping you from doing that. And you're constantly drawing cards, which is concerning. This is a dragon, and this is a spellcaster. Which one's more threatening? Well, I mean, wait, is Horn only special summoned monsters? No. This can literally return your normal summon always. Ah, that's brutal. You could play this with a Pothos though. Huh, funny. But what's the play then? Well, we could prevent these cards from setting, or maybe we can prevent an extra deck summon. Because of the location and what you are allowed to fuse with, I mean, if we were able to fill up their field with tokens, so Black Garden Angle, that would be fine, I guess. Are these cards Dracotail cards? Yeah, you would have to get these off the field still, though. But, yeah, we can token all over our opponent, I suppose. Oh, and these guys are all kind of floaters, too, so even if you out them once, that's kind of annoying. So, honestly, the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking evenly matched. That's the play. Duster and Raigeki don't even help you out that much, do they? I mean, even if you out the back row, it just gets recycled, don't it? Wait, can they be recycled if all of these are in the graveyard? Dracotail, Monster, set spell trap from your deck. Target monsters on the field or graveyards. Return them to the hand. Oh, if you were able to get all of these into the graveyard at like the same time, it wouldn't be able to recycle them anymore. So if you evenly matched, it kills all the spells and traps like regardless. Huh, right? Maybe. Unless these cards also have this effect. Uh, get to Rufy. No, these don't recycle. I don't think. Nothing else recycles, I don't think. Maybe. Okay. And this one also has a negate tied to it, which doesn't feel great exactly. Hmm. But all these cards do target, do they not? Yeah, I think they do target. So, I mean, this might be fine if we play like Magispector. None of your cards are actually super targetable here. So, do we just play for, I guess, targeting protection? Yeah, target monsters on the field. Okay. If we play around like, I guess, cards that can be targeted, then we should be fine. I mean, how many interruptions can you actually drop? I guess it's like 2, right? 2, 3. Uh, wasn't there a monster pop here somewhere? Which one is it? Is it this one? Destroy one monster on the field. Okay. So Pan has the effect of destroying a monster as well. Wait. Then you can destroy one monster on the field. This is non-targeting, bro. But good thing Magispector monsters can't be destroyed. Quick. So, Unchained, if you try to destroy my cards or target my cards, it should be like fairly fine. Can't like envision too many other decks that could deal with this nonsense specifically. If we don't have monsters to begin with, though, at least when these cards are being used as more or less hand traps, we can avoid them with spells or traps. If we're going second into them, like we can't really avoid the spells or traps or whatever they have, right? The traps, I guess, mostly, are not going to be really possible for us to deal with here. We will have options though, so that's something. Hmm. What's insane is if you have like this card, plus like just like a completely useless kind of card, like let's say Cypherm Driver. Can't we use Cypherm Driver plus this card to get a monster negate, and then we can also bounce back a card? So if we actually use a hand trap for this, so if we have Ash Blossom plus Mululu, we could negate a monster, return Ash to the hand, and then Ash like another card effect as well. So this is kind of like how, in this case, it's almost functionally like a one card monster negate, like an imperm almost. But this actually could set up follow up too by setting uh, Rahu or Ketu Dracotail, right? Well, Ketu would just get you a straight up. Yeah, that would get you a straight up another guy. If we were making an end board to beat this, I mean, dropping a high Wave King seems like it could be pretty decent. Maybe. Well, you don't have that many methods to fusion summon, actually. You can only fusion summon with these two cards, so if we negate both of them, it's pretty cooked, right? And you just have a bunch of smaller guys, right? Now these are actually really summonable, right? And they have to be sent as specifically fusion material. So we just need a way to essentially prevent fusion summoning. Is there an anti-fusion summon card that we can immediately just drop on the field? I'm not sure. Hmm. It's hard to look up like a like this. Uh, fusion summon opponent. Well, actually, now that I think about it, you only have these two to fusion summon. So if I am going first, at least, the easiest way to deal with this would be to immediately drop or prepare some sort of a monster negate. If I do have that, then that would work, right? Oh wait, yeah, this one discards itself to perform the fusion summon. This one, you can fusion summon using this, right? Yeah, okay. That's kind of weird. But this one's just a little bit worse than this one. Okay. It's mostly a problem if our opponent has Malulu. Otherwise, if you want to do fight mana, it'll still cost you at least like 3 cards in hand, which is not actually that problematic, is it? But the actual bounce could be problematic, depending on exactly what is getting bounced. Well, I mean, there is this idea actually, maybe. The Fiendsmith cards are actually super generic, and if these are getting bounced back, we can just summon them again, right? So you can't actually bounce back Requiem. If you bounce back Engraver, that's terrible. If you bounce back Lacrima, it's not like that big of a deal. We can still fusion summon using this in hand with Tract, technically. Depends on like the exact situation, I suppose. Or we can just normal summon it on a later turn, I guess. We can use it. Or like something else, we can discard it even. If you bounce Lurie to hand, if we have a way to discard Lurie specifically, Lurie is not hard once per turn, so we could special summon that multiple times, and the only time you can actually negate a monster is with sequence, and if you do bounce back the sequence, depending on how we made sequence, if we have another like Light Fiend, we can just literally link summon sequence again if the effect never activated. And you can't actually negate the sequence fully, is you can just resummon. Kind of like sequence, right? Yeah. And that is because sequence is ignition and not a trigger. And even if it were a trigger, like the timing on Malulu to negate is kind of weird. This can only really negate ignition effects, and it wouldn't be that effective against trigger effects. So if we still have trigger effects, we should be like moderately okay, I think. But is it problematic here? Could be, could be. What can you even chain? You have Horn, Dracotail, Sting. Oh, Sting is the problem card here, somewhat. So we can go like Sting effect, chain Gulamel effect to like pop a card if you try to dodge a targeted effect, assuming you're going second. You'll probably have a card, right? If you actually don't have a card, this actually isn't an option though, which is kind of interesting. The recycle effect. Oh wait, this effect to recycle is actually not mandatory. It's just the effect to draw a card is tied to the recycle effect, so you can't recycle if you get drolled. So you risk, if you don't hold one of these cards, you can't recycle them anymore, right? Not really sure how you cycle the recycling for this, like what kind of rotations you do, or which cards you want to recycle, which cards you want to activate first. Kind of weird stuff. Smith in Paradise. Send all cards on the field to the graveyard that are not that monster. Maybe. That could be useful for something. Uh-huh. I mean, they could negate Tract, but aside from Tract, I mean, you're pretty solid, I guess. In terms of, like, traps, I don't think there's anything else that's super worth activating. I mean, you activate, like, an Imperm. That's a point. Make a wish, like, because a lot of these guys can activate on in the graveyard. These guys are pretty resistant to targeted effects like Imperm, right? Because we can go like, let's say, normal summon a guy that searches, chain Malulu if you chain Imperm, chain 5 mana if you chain Imperm. Oh, yeah. Targeting is kind of rough here. Well, I guess because they can play on your turn, it really is not like as cheesable as certain other decks, right? Like with Malice, I can see like certain ways you could kind of like get at Malice, but without these cards work, I don't think it's cheesable like to hard counter it. I think it's probably best to, well, it depends on the exact situation, but we could try for just brute forcing and playing like an insane engine to kind of like brute force through the interruptions, because the amount of interruptions are going to be less. They're just going to be happening more often, if that makes sense, right? So that might be the play, actually, I'm thinking. That, or we need to find a way to kind of like break the loop that they might be able to set up. That's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. Can you reset the Dracotail monsters? This one's from the graveyard only. Okay. Can we Bestial to out advantage this? I mean, I doubt it, right? Which Dracotail is the light one? This one. Yeah, not that useful to Bestial these guys. I mean, they're Bestial targets, somewhat, but Bestials don't go that hard here. Super Poly doesn't even go that hard, wildly enough. This feels like... This is reminding me of, like, Tearlament a little bit, with how you can't Super Poly them, and also they can kind of play on your turn. Well, I mean, Void Breakers are going to be, like, moderately effective, at least. It's mostly backer removal, I guess. If you have some good backer removal, I think we can manage. Like, Unchained, you have, like, Unchained Soul of Shyama, right? You can probably match something if you were playing Unchained. It's not too bad of a matchup, I don't think. You can probably match something here. Destroy card, negate card on field. I don't think anything super matters on field that's activating, aside from mostly it should be Sarama. Rakea, you can't actually negate. Yama, you can't negate either. So yeah, I mean, because their triggers and quick effects, the only thing you can actually negate is kind of like just Rama. But you can actually play around this a little bit if you really care by destroying Sarama and then going into Disaster, and then you technically destroy Disaster to bring back Sarama again. Or we can bring back Sarama with Yama. It depends on the exact situation, I suppose. But, I mean, is Dracotail actually a deck I should be, like, super concerned about? Like, I'm not seeing a super good answer to completely just shut down Dracotail. Like how you can shut down other decks, and I mean, I kind of like it a little bit, where it feels like kind of like a jack of all trades but master of none kind of vibes right now. But we'll see if they actually do something absurdly degenerate or not. Well, you always can kind of do something degenerate. So yeah, let's see. Okay, doesn't seem too absurdly broken or anything. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Wait a second. Just remember, Mysterion, right? Doesn't he have like kind of retrain or something? Old Secretarion. While you control this fusion stone card, your opponent cannot activate the effects of special summon dragon or spellcaster monsters they control, but they can technically activate the graveyard effects and in-hand effects. But no, they can normal summon still, right? So like, you could normal summon whatever the searcher was. Grab Malulu, send Malulu, negate Secretarian Dragon. Nah, this card's ass. Okay, it doesn't do anything. I don't think, right? Yeah. Okay. So this just gets negated, right? Unless you can protect it, targeting or something. Huh. Well, I guess you could. If you make all of your cards not targetable like Vendred. Wait, with Vendred? That'd be fine. If we have a Chaos Angel in defense position, maybe they can't out that. If it's in attack position, it can be bounced back by that card, then you just have to out that one trap card, right? Oh, wait. That's actually a decent idea, isn't it? So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.